All my work began with hand hygiene and losing my dad to an infection, as I mentioned before. So this is something that when IHI saw it, they let loose with this comment about the patient pod before they kind of get the word they're not really supposed to endorse any kind of a product. But Martha did say that this is something very patient-centric, as low-tech as possible. There is no technology in this whatsoever, because when that patient's alone in the bed, what they need is that last barrier against harm. So the patient, this is the hospital's world. I wanted to create something that literally understands what hospitals are up against. Staff is stretched thin. I think we have to hit the button again because, okay. Hand hygiene hovers around 40%. We know what the death rates are. Patients are not happy. Hearing aids, dentures, eyeglasses, cell phones are lost all the time, thrown out on dinner trays when patients go to sleep. They're bundled up in laundry and thrown away, or they end up in the lost and found. This is some of the stuff you probably know about the rate of infection. The germiest item in the patient's room is the remote control. So I started with a cover for that so that patients wouldn't have to touch it, which made absolute sense to me. This is the patient's world, as we well know. There is nothing more disempowering than being stripped naked of everything you own, giving up your wallet, your cell phone, your credit cards, your ID, and this is the environment they put you in to heal you, where you have a bed table that is your entire world, that has everything from your drinking water cup to your urine bottle and your hearing aids perhaps, which is how my father had his ruined because the water bottle fell. That is why I decided the patient needed something right on the bed rail that was uniquely theirs for all their stuff, that had hand sanitizer in it, so that they don't even have to ask the caregiver, could you please go back out and clean your hands? Because you can pull it out and give them some right in their hands and not make that be such a big deal, in addition to cleaning your own hands. This is what comes in the patient pod. It's basic stuff. It's covers for remote control. It's a notepad and pen, hand sanitizer, sanitizing wipes, and essential tips to stay healthy. It's kind of a distillation of what Jerry was talking about. So you have your stuff at hand. You have your hand hygiene. For a woman, it's like your pocketbook. It's everything you want that's precious to you. And for a man, it's whatever's in your pockets. The clip was designed because, you know what, it has to go around everywhere with you. The quote up there, like taking a friend to the hospital, was the CEO of Kent Hospital in Warwick. She said, it's familiar and comforting, like taking a friend to the hospital, where nothing you touch is yours. We did trials in 7 hospitals in 5 states, and did a fair number of patients and caregivers, and I'm going to share some of what they said about having this patient pod with this. It basically self-levels as well. It's uniquely yours. All your things are right there. They were happy to write down questions. The independence of not having to ask the nurse for belongings, and I should mention my favorite thing, which I will try to pull out as this goes through. Here's some more quotes. Knew where my things were, clean hands, independence, a picture of my family close by. See, this is where you can have a picture of you being vibrant and healthy, your name, and your message that you write with your notepad and pen. So that's the face of you in the hospital. This is what patients said they'd have to do without a patient pod. They'd get up to use the sink, they'd ask for hand cleaner, or they couldn't clean their hands. None of those is a good strategy. I don't understand why, with infections so prevalent, they're not giving you these tools. And plus, used in a wider mode in the hospital, you can change the culture. The caregivers can know at a glance who you are. There's no more data entry. This is a way to engage the patient as a human being and recognize their basic dignity. And the more patients have these, you have to ask them to take a baby step. One little thing they can ask or know elevates their awareness, and one more patient is empowered. Ultimately, I'd like this to be like shampoo in the hotel. Its absence is what you would notice. So that whether you're military, whether you're a child, you have stuff that is designed for you to have your own personal things. We actually have a grant narrative to use the patient pod at Teachback to reduce readmissions and harm across care transitions, because all your handouts and all your discharge papers that are shoved in your face, the stuff in your bag or in your glove box, is all in here, including the questions and answers you've written down. It all begins with one person, one person out of 100,000 a year, and it's just not right that we don't equip them with a couple of dollars worth of materials to keep them safe and healthy. I have a project, crowdfunding project on MedStarter right now to give 100 of these away to people that need them. And again, you know, Regina and Dave and some of the crowdfunding people have been kind enough to make a donation. I just want them to be out there because hospital value analysis committees, the chief nursing officer, quality officer takes them there, and they die a death because they cost a little bit of money because I can't get them made for nothing. But that's really my story, and if you have any questions, comments, if I can help you in any way, please ask me. I'd love to help you. Thank you very much. Yay.